Have you ever caught yourself wondering about psychologists, what they really do, and whether they can see right through you, like mind-reading wizards? Or maybe you've heard some myths that make you think twice before stepping into their office. So, as always, do it smart. Let's unravel these myths and shed light on the truth behind their work. Myth 1. Psychologist and psychiatrist are essentially the same. A psychiatrist is a specialist trained in diagnosing and treating mental illnesses. This field is rooted in medicine, and psychiatrists primarily rely on medication and therapeutic interventions to treat severe mental health conditions. Picture psychiatric care, and you might think of prescriptions, hospital rooms, or even treatments like electroconvulsive therapy. On the other hand, a psychologist specializes in understanding human behavior and emotions through non-medical approaches. Psychologists work with mentally healthy individuals, helping them navigate challenges like relationship issues, decision-making struggles, stress, or trauma. Think divorce, grief, or past abuse. Unlike psychiatrists, they don't prescribe medication, but focus on psychological counseling to guide their clients towards solutions. Meanwhile, a psychotherapist can be a psychologist or another mental health professional trained in specific therapeutic techniques. Their expertise lies in helping clients manage emotional challenges or borderline states like anxiety, depression, or trauma, often using methods like cognitive behavioral therapy. Myth 2. Psychologists can read your mind. Ever feel a bit nervous talking to a psychologist, like they're secretly analyzing everything you say or do? Some people imagine that psychologists are like mind readers, silently picking apart their thoughts and intentions. But let's be real, they're not superheroes with psychic powers. Yes, psychologists are trained to notice details most of us would miss. In their work, they ask thoughtful questions, observe behavior, and use their skills to help unravel what's going on beneath the surface. But this laser focus is reserved for the therapy room, where it's their job to guide and support you. If you're not ready to open up, they won't magically know your deepest secrets. They rely on what you tell them and what they observe. That said, their training and intuition can sometimes make them better at piecing together clues about what might be troubling you. But it's not about judgment, it's about helping you find clarity. And no, psychologists aren't secretly diagnosing their friends or acquaintances at dinner parties. Myth 3. Psychologists have perfect lives. Some people think psychologists have it all figured out. No arguments, no bad days, perfect relationships, and spotless kitchens. Sounds like the dream, right? But here's the truth. Psychologists are human too. Sure, they might have an edge when it comes to understanding emotions and navigating conflicts, but that doesn't make them immune to life's challenges. They get angry, frustrated, and overwhelmed, just like everyone else. The difference is, they're usually more aware of what's going on in their minds. For example, a psychologist might catch themselves mid-frustration and think, "Why is this making me so upset? What am I really feeling here?" This self-awareness doesn't erase the problem, but it can make dealing with it a little smoother. And no, they don't have magical relationships where everyone always agrees, and their kids don't magically listen to everything they say. Psychologists argue with their partners, stress over deadlines, and sometimes burn dinner. But here's the catch. They're often better at working through these issues because they know how important communication and self-reflection are. Myth 4. Psychologists are always ready to help anyone, anytime, anywhere. Let's get real here. Psychologists aren't superheroes on call 24/7, swooping in to save the day at a moment's notice. It's a noble thought, but in reality, psychology is a profession, not a lifestyle. While they do care deeply about helping people, psychologists also know the importance of boundaries. And honestly, that's healthy for everyone involved. You might think, well, can't they just help their friends or family? It's no big deal, right? Actually, it is. Professional ethics are pretty clear on this. Psychologists don't work with close friends or relatives. Why? Because mixing personal relationships with professional roles can cause more harm than good. It can blur lines, lead to misunderstandings, and even strain relationships. Here's the key takeaway. Being a good psychologist doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being for others. So, while they're incredibly skilled at offering support, they're not obligated to be a therapist for everyone they meet. Myth 5. A psychologist will tell you exactly what to do with your life. A lot of people assume that going to a psychologist is like hiring a life coach or getting advice from a wise old friend. You walk in, tell them your problems, and they hand you a step-by-step guide to happiness. Sounds easy, right? But that's not how it works. Not even close. Here's the thing. A good psychologist doesn't give you instructions on how to live your life. They're not there to say, quit your job, break up with your partner, and start yoga classes. Why? That's not what you actually need. Instead, psychologists help you figure out your own answers. They guide you through understanding your emotions, identifying the root causes of your struggles, and recognizing the patterns in your behavior. The truth is, asking for advice often comes from a desire to shift responsibility. It's like saying, "You tell me what to do so I don't have to figure it out myself." But a good psychologist knows that real change happens when you take ownership of your choices. If a psychologist just hands you advice on a silver platter, they're not empowering you. They're creating dependency. So, if you ever meet a psychologist who's quick to dish out personal opinions or tells you how to fix your life, be cautious. That's a red flag. After all, only you truly know what's best for your life. They're just there to help you discover it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Stay with us for more.